Okay guys, so apparently my audio wasn't working for most of the clips in this video, which sucks, and I've already had a mental breakdown about it. However, this video is too good to go to waste, so I thought I would do a voiceover. I hope that's okay with you guys and you stick around because this video is actually super fun. So welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new here, my name is Tay, and in today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a whole new bookshelf setup. I'm so excited. I've been itching to do this video for so long. However, I am so nervous. I feel like it's just such a big, daunting task. However, it's going to make the space look so much better and I'm going to have so much more room for all of my books. So it's very exciting. I very luckily got gifted the Billy bookshelves from IKEA. You guys probably know which one I'm talking about because everyone and their mother have these bookshelves. My older sister very kindly gifted us these bookshelves as a wedding gift, and I'm very grateful because, as you can tell, my current bookshelf setup is just not looking hot. My current setup is actually made up of a bunch of cupboards that I found from around the house and just remove the doors to be able to display my books. One of them is higher, the other one's smaller. The smaller one is actually not as deep as the taller one, and so they're just not matching and it is not a vibe right now. So I'm so keen to get this set up and organized to be able to make it look super pretty and cohesive and all the good things. So the first step is to put together the bookshelf, and then I'm going to remove the books from my current shelves, and then we'll pop in the new bookshelves and then get started with the fun part. So let's just jump straight into it. Okay, I have to put a disclaimer in. I am aware of how gross the carpets are in my apartment. I'm in an old apartment, so I get it. Let's just not comment on it, okay? Literally thinking I was getting a cool shot and the audio's not working. I'm basically just saying that was way heavier than I thought. I'm already sweating, and also I had an engagement party to go to later this afternoon, and like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm like sweaty and I've already done my hair and makeup, but we're just gonna do it. Okay, the way I was so excited that I finally got this up, and the look of this is just so good. It's tall and it's beautiful. Now here, obviously you can tell I desperately am trying to figure out the spacing between each of the shelves, and I still could not figure it out. I think it's just like kind of meant to be a little uneven. I don't know. I eventually figured it out and it looked okay, but you can see me here kind of like swapping them around a lot. Also, those little things are so small. It hurt my fingers so bad, but obviously I got there in the end. I was so freaking happy. Once I got them to the spacing that I was happy with, I had to have some lunch because it was like about 3 p.m. here and I realized I hadn't eaten, and so I grabbed myself some cereal. Very nutritious lunch, honestly. Anyway, now that I've got them all together, I'm going to be removing all the books and moving these shelves so I can move them over. I'm honestly so happy with how high these shelves are because I'm going to be able to fit so many books. So let's get going. I've taken the books out. I've now moved the bookshelf over, which is so good. It's looking good. I'm so excited. I have made a mess of the room. It is crazy. You guys should see it. But I've popped all of my books up here. I've got more books down here. And tell me why, when you take the books out of the bookshelf, it looks like you got so many books than it looked like when you had them in the shelf. I'm like, why? There's so many books. But it doesn't look like that many when it's on the shelves, but there's just like so many. But I feel like that happens with like when I watch other people do this as well. I'm like, why do you have so many books? It did not look like that. The bookshelf, this one that I had up, I realized has like a broken back. The wood is like full on rotted through, and so it's now leaning over. It's leaving a bunch of gross stuff on the floor, and now I'm like, I don't know what to do with it, because I'm like, I don't think that I can keep this here and use it for something else. We don't have the doors for it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it for now. Right now it's just gonna stay here. My husband's gonna love that, so that's good. Okay, it's time to finally put the books in, and I'm so nervous. I feel like this is the most nerve-wracking part, but it's also the most exciting part, because this is like where I get to get creative. I get to put it all together. It's gonna look so good, but it's also so nerve-wracking, because what if I suck at this, and what if it doesn't look good? I don't even have a game plan. I'm just gonna let the books in and then see how I go. Later, because I ran out of storage on the camera and we ran out of daylight, so I have changed outfits. I also am now aware of the audio issue that I had, so hopefully now I'll just be speaking and not doing voiceovers, because that's low-key boring. So I'm gonna get back to doing the bookshelves. I've literally put off for days putting books onto my bookshelf because I wanted to do it for the video, so my room has been a mess for too long. Now it is a very gloomy day outside, so I'm sorry about the lighting, but this just like needs to be done. I'm up to basically a bunch of just romances now, and this is the part that I'm nervous about, because I just don't know how I'm gonna lay it out, but I'm just gonna put stuff down and hope that it looks good. So I'm very sorry, but I have finally put all of the books in. I think I'm happy with the way it is now, but you never know, I might end up changing it later. But for now, I thought I'll go through and I'll show you how I've kind of organized the bookshelves. So we've got the first 3 shelves here. The top one is obviously fantasy. I've got the tall paperbacks over here, and then the shorter paperbacks here. I got a few hardcovers because I've got Nightbane and Skyshade in hardcover. That's the only way you can get it when it first gets released here in Australia. And then I got the Reckless Barnes & Noble exclusive edition when I was in Hawaii, and I love it. Even though this was my least favorite book of the series, which I'm sad that this is the one that I got. Fearless wasn't out at the time. I still got it because it's so beautiful. And down here we've got my SJM shelf. I've also put on my little dresser that I've made on that shelf because obviously this is a ACOTAR reference. I did actually make a video of me making this, and on the back I've even put a little picture of Valaris in there, and so it's super cute and I love it so much, so I definitely wanted to display this. I didn't know how to do it, so I kind of have put it in front of Crescent City because that's not my favorite of her series. Down on the third level, we then have my first romance shelf. I have the Chestnut Springs here, a few more Elsie Silver because I love her. I've got then Anna Huang, I've put them all together. And then I've got Abby Jimenez, Ali Hazelwood. I need more of Abby Jimenez because I've actually read her other books, but I just don't have the physical copy of them, but I definitely want them as trophies. And then I've got my Amber Smith, The Way I Used to Be and The Way I Am Now. I love those books so much, but trigger warning if you want to read those. And then on the next two shelves, this shelf is definitely one of my favorites. I think this one and this one up here are my favorites, but obviously I've got my Emily Henry, you know I love her. I also got the 2 hardback special editions in Hawaii as well, and then obviously another all-time favorite auto by author, which is Jessa Hastings. Yes, I do not have The Conditions of Will yet and I haven't read it, but it's coming. But obviously I've got my indie covers here, and I had to display Magnolia Parks. I needed to fill up the room, but also this is just such a stunning cover. It deserves to be a piece of art and shown. And then I am trying to collect the shoe covers, and I've only got Magnolia Parks and Magnolia Parks A Long Way Home. It's so hard to find them, however it's kind of almost like a fun little game trying to like collect those. So for now those are the 2 that I've got. I've got Elle Kennedy, The Deal. I don't actually have any other of her books on here. I do have some of hers, but I haven't read them yet. They're on my TBR cart. I've got Done and Dusted, which again I have the other books in this series but I haven't read them. These are all books that I've read, by the way. Then I've just got a bunch of like little ones that I don't have other books from the same author. So I've got like Lessons in Chemistry, A Thousand Boy Kisses, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I definitely have more from Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I didn't love this book that I've been putting off reading her other books. I've got some Hannah Grace here. I've got Daydream and my hardcover Kmart edition of Icebreaker, which I love, and it's got the sprayed edges. Actually, maybe I'll put that one backwards, but I've got those here, and I do definitely have Wildfire, but guys, I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I know I read it on my honeymoon in Hawaii, but I haven't seen it since then, I don't think. I thought I had it on the shelf, but it'll turn up somewhere. Icebreaker there. However, I do have the paperback. My sister's just got it, so I'll get that back eventually and try and squeeze it in here. I don't love these books together, but they're my own ones that are kind of like separated and like don't have other books from that author. So we'll see how I go. Sorry I've got such weird angles for this. I feel like because of my bed it's getting in the way, but I have the Chaos Walking series, and then I've got the Ravenhood series. The Right Move I have read, and I've got the other books in the series. However, I haven't read them yet, and I have read Mahai, but I don't actually have the physical copy. So for now, book 2 is the only book that I have on the shelf, and I do need to get Mile High and read the other books. It's called the Kane Brothers series, and so it's 3 brothers, and we get a book from each of them, and I adore this series so much. It's one of my all-time favorites. Then we've got the Lauren Asher, the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I enjoyed these. These were good, but I read them very early on in my reading experience, so who knows what my review on them would be now. I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I did not love this book. Hot take, I know it's not a popular opinion, but whatever. I then have my Harry Potter here. This is a paperback of Harry Potter and it fit well here. I do have another one down here that is kind of like a hardcover, but it's old. This is an old book. As you can tell, it's been bashed up, and also the pages are like the yellowest thing that you've ever seen. So I thought I have to keep it. However, it just doesn't fit up with the vibe over here, and so I've kept these 2 here. I do want to collect these covers, which are like the most recent covers, so it shouldn't be hard. However, I am not supporting this author, so I'm just trying to buy them from like op shops. I have my special editions of the Hunger Games. This is a really weird special edition. It's so shiny and it's such a weird size. Like, let me get a normal size book out. This is like a regular size book. If I put it up against it, like it's almost square. Like this book is almost like square. It's such a weird size. However, it is so beautiful, so shiny, and it's got gold sprayed edges, which I just think is stunning. I do have the paperbacks of the Hunger Games in another room, and so I might want to bring them here and put them with this, but for now this is kind of like the setup. I then have obviously my Holleen Coover, and I've put them together, and then I have just some other tall paperbacks that were really random, like The Guest List, which wasn't too bad. I read that for a book club, and then and I've got one of Zoe Suggs' books that I read so long ago, and I've just like had it for ages, and so I was like, I may as well just like put it up there because it like all matches. Now down here, this is just the most random shelf ever. This is a book that my nana gave me so many years ago and I just haven't read it. However, I do plan on reading it one time, hopefully, so that I can talk to her about it. I think she's forgotten that she's given it to me. I also have a few like non-fiction. I have a few Christian non-fiction. I've got some Ellen Hildebrand, which I do want to read. However, I'm just super intimidated by this book, even though it is 2 stories in one. But I just like, I don't know, I'm so intimidated by this like actual copy. But I got it from Vinnie's for $4, so I was like, why not? I have Whisper by Lynette Noni, which I actually should probably put that up with my other Lynette Nonis. However, it's just like so different, and I would love to get the second book to be able to have like kind of the series. I have very randomly Better Than the Movies here, but it just like didn't go with my other books because, as you guys probably saw, it just is a different height. It's just so random. The Handmaid's Tale, and then a bunch of just other really random books here. The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life. I've got Nicholas Sparks, the Harry Potter. I've got whatever this is. I'm probably going to get rid of it, like as if I'm actually going to read that. I do have Pucking Around down here, which I have read. However, it is my cousin's, and so I'm putting it here so that I remember to give it to her. I've got a journal down here, and then the books that I'm currently reading. So I've got Saving Six that I'm currently reading, so I'm putting that here because it's obviously right next to my bed. And then I also have my Kindle for whenever I'm reading that. This lighting is just not a good time for me, but that is basically it. I definitely have so many more books in other rooms. I have some in our living room and then some in my husband's gaming room, and so I might need to get another shelf or rearrange this to kind of figure it out. I might want to pop the books that I don't love, like that bottom shelf, somewhere else, and then pop like some books that I really love here, because this is going to be the one that I'll be looking at the most. However, I do love having some books in my living room because I love to be able to like have it displayed for when people come over and to be able to like chat about books and to be like, yes, that's right, I'm a book reader and I love these books because they're awesome, and then hopefully be able to encourage people to read The Boys of Tommen and cry their eyes out forever. So we will see how I go with that, but for now that is as much as I can get done with this bookshelf. I hope you guys loved watching this video. I do want to apologize for how chaotic this video was when it comes to changing of days, lighting, and also the audio. This was just the most crazy video I've ever recorded, but hopefully you guys still had a good time, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and also subscribe because it really supports my channel, and I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video.